Hey, what's going on, everyone? Astrologer Eric Rosen, and this is your February 2025 horoscope for your sun rising. You even can say your moon sign because it is this dreamy Pisces time. It's a very subconscious, feely time, so use that. Each month, I like to go into what is going on for all 12 signs, like from more of a macro perspective. Obviously, there's a lot of astrology to get to in a whole month. I like to take a look at what are the most potent transits, like which ones are the thumpers, which ones are the rare ones that we don't really see all the time. Without a doubt, for the whole collective, regardless of your sign, that is North Node and Neptune meeting in Pisces. And while the North Node is not an actual body in space, it's that reference point to let us know where the eclipses are occurring. It is this North Star that we're meant to really reach for. So this is a highly, highly spiritual time. Surrender, be with God, be with the angels, dream, let go of the past, really just gently, compassionately, empathetically release any patterns or even addictions, find comfort in the sensitive process of just whoa, things can feel a little ungrounded here. Luckily, we do have Saturn here and starting the month with Pisces, but it won't be here the whole month. It's going to go into Aries where it's going to retrograde, which is a whole nother ballgame that we'll probably be talking about next month. But at least Saturn is here to put a little bit of focus on what are some areas that we can focus this spiritual energy on. And so what I'm going to be talking about is which area of life would be the most beneficial for you to focus on dreaming again, being spiritual, surrendering, flowing, letting life be a dream and seeing where things can really go. And even find some footing in a consistent, ethereal, quantum metaphysical manifestation process where it's not just, daydreams all over the place, but it's actually a focused dream, something that you really want to have. And maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't, but what's the opposite? It's the South Node in Virgo where it's just feeling like you're the worst worker dwarf ever that hates his job working for Snow White. So it's at least create your own dream of where you want to go. So I always like to start with Aries. That's where we start the spring season. So Pisces is your 12th house, Aries. And so this is really going to be about totally seeing the dream vision of where things can go. Out of every sign, you are definitely going to be the one that's being asked to just really dream. And you've probably had dreams already since 2011, since Neptune entered Pisces, but now this is a focal point. Don't worry about getting lost in the mundane day-to-day reality. See where you can use meditations, where you can use prayer, where you can reach higher than you ever have before to connect with the divine and go with a dreamy dream, just seeing what wants to come through you, because the more you create these spiritual disciplines, the more you can be in the receiver mode of a dream that can actually be tangible instead of one that maybe just feels like a pipe dream. When it comes to Taurus, Pisces is your 11th house where this North Node Neptune is at. So this is actually a dream about being more immersed in flowing in society again, being connected with people, more of an empathetic, compassionate connection just with the human race in general. And it's not that you have to stay connected necessarily. This can be just greeting strangers with a sense of flow, a sense of empathy and sensitivity for others. But I would say the dream is also who is it that needs to be involved in whatever the dream is that you have, that you need people to connect with it. What does that future timeline look like? And even if it feels like you're not sure what that next step is, get more clear on where you're at now and where you would like to go, and how do people fit into that, even if it feels like that resource hasn't shown up yet and there's some Saturn restriction where it feels just out of reach, because that's part of the manifestation process, right? It's part of just be okay with the dreaming first. Don't worry about well, wait, this isn't in my kingdom. I don't actually have this tangibly here. Do the dream, see where people fit in, make sure that you're seeing that you're not meant to do it all alone. You're a Taurus, and that's where things can start to flow in easier. When it comes to Gemini, Pisces is your 10th house. And so this is all about your higher career ambitions, your legacy, a sense of purpose, if you want to reach as high as you can to the heavens. And so This is about more of like a singular dream, a very, very focused one. It's 10th house and wants to restrict and go, you can't leapfrog mountaintops. You know, it's like Neo Matrix stuff. Like you can leap rooftops, but that's more like things in business, which you can do that. But like that was just like the practice round. This is like the real stuff where it's like, what's that main mission? What's that main spiritual mission that you're here to accomplish? Like that's the place to dream and see that if it is actually truly spiritually in integrity with the place that you're ultimately like meant to go, it's that hill that you're willing to die on and dream about, well, the resources will show up as you go. And so it's almost like you're the sign that's like here to like kind of like make your higher work efforts in business and just networking connections like dream like and flow like, and spot and appreciate the synchronicities, and, you know, just be good to yourself and others that you connect with, because I really feel like things will show up and maybe it's kind of like, well, where's the exact calculated plan? And it's like, well, it's God's plan. It's like, follow that. Like, what is that, the divine, what is God really asking you to do and dream about? And don't get like hung up on the how or the methods, because it's almost like you're meant to like let go of like that calculative nature and just let things kind of like come in a more subconscious way of just intuitively knowing like what is the next step to take. When it comes to Cancer, Pisces is your 9th house. And so this is about dreaming big, without a doubt. That North Node Neptune is asking you to have big, abundant dreams. You're the sign that it's okay to like have multiple dreams that maybe kind of like feel foreign to each other, but like you're that sign that's actually meant to be the dreamer for the collective right now, where it's like, it can even be a dream that you're not even attached to, that maybe, you know, doesn't even directly involve like your life, but like it's like dreaming about a better outcome for like another country, or like, you know, people of like a different religious background or skin color, just something, you know, where you just have like an empathetic, compassionate like touch for them, because it's almost like that's part of your Doctor Strange work, if you get the reference from the Marvel movies, where it's like it may not show up in the face of society and it may feel more secretive in the background and maybe not everyone understands it, but like that's okay, because that enchantment can like allow you to experience like more abundance in places where it feels like sometimes maybe there's limitations on like what you can do. This could bring up, if you want, like safely like looking into astral travel and meditations that kind of like project your energy and things like that, just to also get the experience in a more energetic, ethereal way too, if there's things that you are considering for your own life and you want to see how's that going to look. So it's like this dreamy piece of like, go experience it before it's real. This dreamy piece of like compassion and empathy for everyone, regardless of where they come from. When it comes to Leos, this is your 8th house. And so this is saucy energy. This is like more of like a dream of you being like more primal and like kind of rooted in your power and almost like a sexual nature. It can be sexual, but it can also just be your desires for things that maybe can sometimes seem like taboo, like money and things like that. But it's like, it's developing a spiritual hunger. The dream is around the spiritual hunger of like, what is it that you want? You know, like it's okay to like have even just like the highest spiritual hunger for this placement would be the hunger to really truly connect with the divine, that you're willing to, you know, go to whatever lengths that it takes. You're willing to go to the ends of the earth, go to these scary places, face your repressed fears, like to truly surrender and like let go, to actually find a sense of edge in life, because you're finding God on the precipice of facing your fears that could, some of them could seem, okay, I understand this fear because yeah, this is from a repressed memory. And then it could be other fears where it's like, well, this seems a little irrational. I don't even know why this is, you know, bothering me. So it's better to go in this direction than it would be like stubborn comfort of consistency and doing the same choppy things like over and over again in your life. If you're not feeling the passion, that's why. It's because you're being asked to go in a more like direction that can feel a little bit like being a light chaser, of like chasing connection with God, but it's doing it on the most like beautiful ways of like being of service and being in your power and helping others. When it comes to Virgos, the dreams are all about in your relationships, like dream partnerships, whether that's like something you're wanting romantically to improve and one that you have, one you want to have come in, like more friendships, basically just relationships that allow you to feel the enchantment of life again. You've got that South Node in your sign, so it can feel a little dull or boring sometimes, like in yourself or just being alone by yourself. You want to connect with others, just friendships, romances, just relationships of all types. And so I would be casting that dream net towards who are the spiritually minded people that love and accept me, that want to hang out with me more or come into my reality. It's not so much about like groups of people. It's probably more like one-on-one or, smaller connections, smaller groups of people. But it's like daydream about that stuff, about this more kind of social connection like aspect of things. I think that's actually the positivity that you're looking for here. And it's best to like invite in people that are definitely going to be compassionate and empathetic with any personal challenges that you're having right now. So I would dream in that direction, Virgos, and communicate that too. This is about not being afraid to like communicate more of like what's in your subconscious, of like the story as you're experiencing life, and not so much just like the little facts and details about like yourself. It's like, what do you actually see when you look around you? So Libras, this is a transit that's going through your 6th house with this North Node, Neptune, and Pisces. And so this is definitely, instead of like getting lost in like a dream that actually doesn't really practically make sense, it's more so about what is a dream that does make sense. Like you can connect it, like there's a system that you can build around it. Like let's say that, you wanted to build like your work reality around having more flow and sensitivity and connection with others, like in a day-to-day routine work schedule, like you're able to speak from a more methodical place. Like this is looking at how can you dream about how can I see this connection and this conversation and this system like in my vision before it becomes real. And then all of a sudden, poof, fairy godmother shows up, and it actually comes way quicker than you think, when you think that it's like too hard or too scary to like piece things together, when actually when you use like these more spiritual intuitive like senses, it's actually going to like help your day-to-day life flow better and like not have so much like clunkiness of like highs and lows. It's about kind of more of that gentle miracle flow of like, even like sometimes when things seem like they're starting to get stressful, it's like a little minor miracle and it still works out. It's like see a bigger, wider picture as you're going through the present moments of your day-to-day life. And it's almost like, being the dream walker, like life is like, you're the sign where it's like life is a dream, like none of this is real. Like, so it's like not in like a crazy detached, way, like you're still a human, but it's like seeing it like this more spiritual lens of combining both the physical reality and the spiritual. When it comes to, let's see, we're on Scorpio. Scorpio, this is your 5th house. So this is dreaming about love, which isn't really anything new, but not because you're a Scorpio, but because of the transits, where it's like you can have a dream connection, but it does start with your self-love. You've got to really go to the highest place that you can go with your angels and guides, honestly, Scorpio, and just really love yourself during this time. I would see, like, instead of before creating more of like any dream vision that you're wanting like romantically, or even if you're good with being single and you want to fuse more love and romance into like a creative process that opens your heart, I would more so look at that spiritual identity avatar of yourself and that self-reflection. And are you really loving the wholeness of you, like all parts of your heart, like the stuff from the past, the stuff that you want to get to and want to create? And because these levels of self-love that you can go to, that's boundless, it's almost like daring the universe to like not send you the thing that you're seeking, whether that's like a new romantic partnership that's dreamy, or, you know, making the one that you're in better, feeling like more connected, or even just like something that you just want, that you just, it's just on your heart and you desire it. And that's just that, you know, that's what's on your heart. So it's like loving yourself, just like everything that's happened in the past and everything that you're going through. And it actually dramatically increases the quantum probability of you attracting the things that you do want. So Sagittarius, this is all about your fourth house of your family, your home life, your foundation, North Node, Neptune, and Pisces. And so it's dreaming about having this perfect, happy-go-lucky family life, your foundation, flowing, feeling good, self-care, where you're just like, wow, like I brought the dream to me. It's like in my own home. It's in my own family unit. Like I'm resourced. I have everything I need. It's not about the South Node and the 10th in Virgo, about some career advancement, like, you know, trying to find the right perfect networking connection to get something that you want to be seen publicly achieve, or some sense of mission. It's more so about like appreciating like the foundation that's really always like been there, but connecting with it in a new spiritual way. So it's almost like, in an interesting way, the dream becomes a deep sense of gratitude and appreciation of like the safety that you already have. And like, that's actually where it's this reverse engineering process where you actually invite in more of the beautiful things that you desire in the dream, just through more self-nourishment and appreciation. When it comes to Capricorn, this is your third house, North Node, Neptune, and Pisces. And so this is definitely about your mental outlook with things. And so the dream almost becomes a combination of like, yes, it's the fact checking of things. And so it can feel a little bit hard because it's almost like this balance where it's like, you know, don't get too pie in the sky, like with that South Node and Virgo in the 9th, of like, oh, this belief of it's all gonna work out, with that actually like fact checking it. Out of all signs, it's probably the most humbling one, because it's a little bit of, yes, some appreciation for the current circumstances, like as they are, and practicing gratitude, but then it's also like seeing the opportunities that exist and appreciating those, like even if it means, you know, having to look at life in a different lens, in a behavioral change like type way. So the dream actually becomes this like more practical, like can do, I'll make the tweaks and shift things that I'm familiar with, but those patterns are actually overwhelming, that routine's overwhelming. And so it's adjusting to your routine that's more in flow, but like not disconnected to where you're not dreaming. It's like the dream comes to you just by taking care of the business of just like shifting your lens, your mental outlook. It's really an attitude adjustment, where it's like good things like just come to you from just like having a positive attitude. It's almost like it's like having a Ted Lasso outlook on life, if you're familiar with the show, where it's just like, you know, things always find a way of working out, and it's like cheerful and happy-go-lucky, but it's also not ignoring problems and the facts of how things are. Aquarius, this is you dealing with your second house, North Node, Neptune, and Pisces. So it's like the dream is really in creation mode. It's creation. It's actually being stubborn for the quality of what you feel that you're worthy of and passionate about on a deeply spiritual way, where it's kind of like, you know, you're doing it because it feels spiritually valuable, and like the bonus is actually just like getting prosperity from just like creating and doing that thing, like not doing it for like some lucrative like gain, because, you know, it would be like trying to like convince yourself of like factually, well, it just factually makes sense to invest in all this like crypto, and like that's my passion, and where it's like, nah, it's going to come more from spirit, your intuition. So it's like the dream is more so like, how can you actually have a very prosperous life, you know, and it's okay to include all the things, you know, like your clothing and your possessions and your, you know, the car that you drive. Like, sure, possessions can be a weird thing when there's a material attachment, but this is almost more so like being okay with like dreaming, and it helps you get subconscious clarity on what your value system is and what you actually want. Because with you being an Aquarius, like, you know what to connect and disconnect from. So it's like you'll your imagination will be like, fuck no, I don't want that. Like if you start fantasizing about a Rolls Royce when you don't value a Rolls Royce, and you're fantasizing about going on like a cruise with people. Okay, cool. Like that's your spiritual dream of your value system. You want to be in tribe and community. Of course, you're an Aquarius, you want to connect. So it's like dreaming about like these things and like putting effort into your life in just ways that make practical sense, and being stubborn in that way that you're creating and going towards that thing that you find valuable, and knowing that it can show up at any time. And finally, we have Pisces. So spotlight's on you, Pisces. North Node, Neptune on your sign, in your rising. The dream is you. You're the holographic avatar where we're all the sun, the moon, the stars, right? We're all the fabric of oneness, and it's all energy and sine waves, and just, it's all energy, right? But like, you're the one that gets to walk around and like not have to feel separate from all of it, where it's like, you can have sensitivity and empathy for this thing going on over here with this person, for yourself, but then also like, it's okay to like be dreamy and like see with eyes of love, like especially yourself, but others, and the directions that you're going, okay, you know, like it's not so much about like the past, the disappointment, like should I do this, should I do that? It's more so just like, hey, this feels dreamy, and this feels like an experience that I want to go have. And it's like totally letting go of any duality of, is it going to be good, is it going to be bad? I'm just going, well, this just feels like the dream that I want to like go for. And it's like just a simple check-in of going, well, if it gets hard, will you quit? Or how bad do you want the dream? Are you willing to go in that direction for it? And so it's like checking it, like even if it metaphorically cost you your life, right? Like if you played like this role play and it like didn't work, could you live with that? That's how you know like it's your true dream and your passion is like you're willing to do it even if it like doesn't work, because that's the level of like integrity and passion that you have for something that you desire of a dream-like nature. So those are your sun signs, your rising signs, and you can use your moon sign. For the month of February, it's focused on this Pisces energy. If you want to go deeper than that, you can, of course, click on that link down below for the astrology ebook that I offer. It's $33. And if you want to go even deeper, you want to get a personal astrology reading and go beyond just this monthly horoscope that gives you a direction to go in. But of course, everyone has their natal chart, the transits. It's deeper than just, you know, the surface level sun rising, moon sign. You want to go deeper to your personal life. That would be booking a private astrology reading. You can click on that link down below. I'll have more availability towards more so the middle of February, because I'm making a trip out to the Conscious Life Expo in LA here this, I think it's the first weekend of February. It's the 7th through the 10th. So if you're out in Cali and you want to stop by, come see me. I'll be giving a workshop lecture there on the Astrology of 2025, talking astrology, doing some mini readings, and of course doing readings as a vendor at the event. I'm looking forward to it. There's a lot of great people that come to this event. It's the biggest like vendor-based spiritual show that I know of in the US, and so I'm excited to participate this year. So appreciate you all. For this particular segment, I will see you in March, and the regular updates that come in between is going to be that new Wednesday segment that I'm doing, Celestial Conversations from Chaos to Clarity, where I just help make sense of all the energy that's going on and give you some tidbits on how to innovate and make gradual change in your life or personal transformation, because it's really not about getting swallowed up by any of the chaos that's going on, because it's the beautiful chaos of change that's actually divinely orchestrated. This is all divinely orchestrated, even the stuff that seems like it's not. So appreciate you all, and I will see you next month.